My name is Ava Blake. I'm 24 years old, and this is how I took revenge in the family that gave me life, then gave it away like it meant nothing. I came back home after college expecting open arms, maybe even a "we missed you," or a plate of my favorite pasta waiting on the table. Instead, I found my cousin unpacking in my bedroom, the bedroom I grew up in, the one with the window that caught the morning sun just right, the walls still faintly marked with the dreams I'd scribbled as a teenager. No one had the decency to warn me. Not my mom, not my dad, not even a text. Just her, standing there like she belonged more than I ever did. I asked my mom what was going on, trying to keep the shake out of my voice. She didn't even look up from the sink, just said she needed space, and you're barely home. Like that explained everything. Like that made it okay. That sentence shattered something in me. It wasn't just about the room. It was what it meant. I had been replaced. Quietly. Cleanly. Without a fight. And that night, lying on the living room couch like a guest, like a mistake they didn't know what to do with, I stared at the ceiling for hours. Everything I thought I knew about love, about loyalty, started to rot. But that's the thing about rejection. It wakes up something ruthless inside you. And as I lay there, listening to the silence of a house that no longer felt like mine, I made a decision. If they wanted me gone, I'd go. I'd disappear from their daily lives, give them exactly what they thought they wanted. But I wouldn't vanish. No, I would rise. I would build a life so brilliant, so unapologetically loud, that they'd never be able to look out their window without seeing what they lost. I would plant myself right across the street if I had to, a living reminder of what happens when you discard someone too soon. And they would watch, every single day.
I grew up in a modest, middle-class home tucked in the quiet suburbs of Connecticut, the kind of place where neighbors borrowed sugar, where birthdays were celebrated with sheet cake and plastic streamers, and where family dinners were a religion. I was the oldest of three, the big sister, the example, the one who was supposed to lead the way. My parents worked hard. Dad ran a small plumbing business and Mom worked part-time at a local clinic. Life wasn't extravagant, but it was stable, or at least that's how it felt when I was younger. I had two younger siblings, Lily, who was always curious and kind, and Josh, who idolized me more than I probably deserved. And then there was Emily, our cousin. She wasn't part of our immediate household, but she might as well have been. She floated in and out of our lives like a storm. Holidays, school breaks, the occasional just for a few weeks stay when things got rough with her mom, which was often. Her dad was never in the picture, and her mother, my aunt, bounced from boyfriend to boyfriend and state to state. Emily was everything I wasn't. Where I was quiet, she was loud. Where I studied, she skipped. Where I stayed home, she snuck out. She was the kind of girl who left a mess everywhere she went. Makeup on the sink, secrets on the walls. She got expelled twice before she turned 16. She had a way of turning the air tense without saying a word. And still, my mom always defended her. She just needs stability, she'd say with a sigh, as if it were Emily who needed saving, not the family trying to stay afloat. I, on the other hand, played by every rule. I was the golden child, the bright future, the one teachers praised and relatives bragged about. Straight A's, no parties, no boy trouble. I got into NYU on a merit scholarship, packed my bags, and left with a head full of dreams and a heart still tethered to home. And I stayed tethered. I called every Sunday, sent money back when Dad's business took a hit during COVID, came home for Thanksgiving and Christmas, even when it meant skipping office parties or losing shifts. I thought that meant something. I thought I meant something. New York wasn't easy. It was loud and fast and unforgiving. I juggled classes with a waitressing job in a cramped diner that smelled like grease and heartbreak. I interned at a small digital marketing firm where I learned the hustle behind the glossy Instagram posts and sponsored ads. It was rough, but I built something, a foundation, a future. I worked for every inch of progress, scraped together savings, and earned a full-time position after graduation. I didn't have a boyfriend, didn't go clubbing, didn't waste time. I was focused, grounded, prepared. So when I graduated and came home, degree in hand, resume polished, heart full of hope, I thought I'd find pride. I thought I'd find my place waiting for me. Instead, I walked into my childhood bedroom and found Emily unpacking her suitcase. My posters were gone. I couch hopped at first, crashing with a friend from college in a cramped Brooklyn walk-up, then bouncing to an old roommate's place where the AC didn't work and the floorboards groaned louder than we did. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't comfortable. But it was mine. No one could take it from me. No one could say I didn't belong. I worked like my life was on fire, because it was. Double shifts at the agency, freelance projects on the side, and content creation in every free moment I could find.
I barely slept. I lived on gas station coffee and grocery store granola bars. But I had a plan. I wasn't just going to survive, I was going to dominate. My goal was simple and insane. Build a six-figure freelance marketing business, scale it into a brand, and get into that high rise across the street from my childhood home. Not just any unit, the penthouse. The one that stared down at the house that had tossed me aside. I started with what I knew: social media management. I reached out to small businesses, influencers, artists, anyone who needed a digital presence and couldn't afford a big agency. I offered package deals, undercut the competition, and delivered results that made people talk. Then I invested every single dime I made back into myself. A better laptop, ads, a logo, web hosting, an LLC. I built a website in 2 sleepless nights and launched my own personal brand. I posted daily. I shared my story in pieces, not all at once, just enough to hint at the fire behind the grind. People started paying attention. I learned the algorithm like it was a second language. I studied trends, timed my posts down to the minute, A/B tested captions and thumbnails like a mad woman. Every reel, every carousel, every piece of content was crafted with a purpose. Visibility, authority, credibility. I didn't have investors, I didn't have a safety net, but I had strategy. And I had rage. Every time I looked up my old address on Google Maps, every time I zoomed in and saw the roof of that house, something inside me burned hotter. I didn't just want success, I wanted proof. Proof that I mattered, proof that they had been wrong to discard me. And then came the punch in the gut. Emily started going viral. She was posting TikToks from my old room. I recognized the paint color behind her, the same fairy lights I'd strung up years ago now blinked behind her as she danced, lip-synced, and gave Get Ready With Me tutorials like she owned the place. I moved into the penthouse the same day as Emily's birthday brunch. I hadn't planned it that way at first, but when the timing lined up, it felt like fate, or karma, or both. The whole family was gathered in my old backyard, paper lanterns strung between trees I used to climb, folding tables decked out in pink and gold, laughter spilling into the air like it belonged to a different world. I recognized the faces instantly, even from stories above: aunts, uncles, neighbors, and of course, my parents. Everyone who had once claimed to care about me, now wrapped around someone else's orbit. From my balcony, I could see everything. I watched them toast to her like she was the second coming, like I hadn't existed first, like the bones of that house weren't mine. So I waited. Waited for the moment when everyone was outside, when their glasses were full, when the photographer raised her camera and everyone turned toward the house with a smile. Then I posted it. A slow cinematic video, my hand drawing back the curtain, a slow pan of the skyline sweeping toward the neighborhood, and finally settling on the house directly across from mine. Their house, my former house, perfectly framed in the center of the shot. The caption was simple: months passed. The video kept circulating, gaining traction every few weeks like some quiet anthem of poetic revenge. I didn't chase the attention. I didn't need to. My work spoke for itself now. My client list was stacked. My course had a wait list. And every time I opened my laptop from my penthouse office, I felt a quiet thrill in my bones. Not because I had won, but because I had rebuilt. From scratch. Alone. I didn't block their numbers. I didn't need to make a statement like that. But I didn't answer either. Missed calls from mom and dad became routine. Their texts went from vague guilt to emotional reach-outs. Hope you're okay. We're proud of you, even if it doesn't seem like it. Family is complicated, Ava. But I didn't owe them a response. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Then one Saturday morning, my phone rang. And it wasn't them. It was Lily, my little sister. The only one who never took a side, but always carried the weight of the silence. She was crying. She told me Emily was leaving. Said she'd packed up suddenly, moving in with some guy across town, some musician with too many tattoos and not enough plans. The stability my parents had built their whole excuse on was gone in one overnight U-Haul. They're freaking out, Lily said, like completely lost. And now they want you back. I sat on the edge of my bed, fingers tight around the phone. Of course they did. When Emily unraveled, I was supposed to come back and play the role I'd always played. The responsible one.
the backup plan, the daughter who handled things. But that chapter was closed. I told Lily, gently but clearly, they let me go the moment I stopped serving them. Now I serve myself. There was a long silence. I could hear her breathing.
People think revenge is about hurting the ones who hurt you, about screaming louder, cutting deeper, making them feel what you felt. But real revenge? It's quieter. It's colder. It's when they have to live with what they lost and know deep down they'll never get it back. They wanted me out of the house, so I built a home they can never enter. They wanted to forget me, so I became unforgettable. Not through spite or spectacle, but through the unshakable truth that I rose without them. I didn't crumble when they turned their backs. I climbed. I grew. I became everything they feared I might, independent, unapologetic, and untouchable. My name is Ava Blake. I'm 24 years old. And when they gave away my room, they didn't just push me out. They pushed me higher.